gentlemen, and thank you for joining us on the Pay the Price podcast. This season is called The Dawn of the Diliculum, and you are tuning in to episode 11. In Dawn of the Diliculum, we are playing Starforged essentially as it is available to everyone. The great thing about this system is that it can be played cooperatively with no GM necessary, so everyone is a player and helps craft the story. And since there's no GM, there is practically no prep time between shows for any of us. As we do every week, we are sitting down to play with no clue where this story is going to go, so you get to listen in as it unfolds in real time. You can play just like we do and learn more about what we've got going on and show your support at patreon.com/samuraibeat. We will have patron exclusive content and we'll be publishing other shows like The Midnight Connection, Eddie and my conversational podcast about two dads talking about whatever we want at the only time that we can. With all that being said, let's get into the game. My name is Chris Patu, and today I have with me the primary players of the Pay the Price podcast, starting with Mr. Eddie, the Red Tree Fuentes.
Hola, everybody.
The Guro, Roman Picardo.
Kumusta ka na lahat sayo?
And the best soot sprite in the business, Ivan Palaroan.
I do be that suit spray though.
That's right.
Oh, good na.
So last time on episode 10, our intrepid crew tried to make their escape from the Ironhome Nexus. After leaving their captive room and dispatching one, what was his name? Boris. Yes, we dispatched Boris. We arrived at a makeshift mess hall of sorts and immediately took heavy fire. Duke was severely injured. Everyone else in the crew also very much injured, except for Luz, who managed to get away mostly unscathed, though he was impacted by a cloud of gas that had formed in the room because Goshi had missed his shot and hit a nearby pipe.
Oops, did I do that?
Despite all of the injuries, the team managed to escape the room and make it back to their ship, the Diliculum. Also, en route, they discovered that the Shard Hunters had arrived on the Ironhome Nexus in pursuit of the team. And before leaving the ship, the team decided that they would sabotage the Shard Hunters' ship before making their escape. And now, the crew is recovering on the Diliculum, making their way to the planet where we hope to find the Lady in the Lake. All right, Ivan, you want to set the scene for us for episode 11?
Yes. Okay, so scene opens up with Sparrow, and he's waking up in crew quarters, and he gets out of his bed and is kind of just limping along because, you know, his injury to his leg. So he's limping along to the bridge, and he eventually takes a seat, you know, where the wheel is. And he's trying to get his bearings as the ship kind of continues to make its way towards, I guess, this unnamed planet, right? We didn't name it yet, which is, again, behind the black hole. And ahead of the ship is visible to them, the black hole. And as Sparrow's sitting there and staring at the black hole, Sparrow begins to get lost in thought and vaguely remembers the dream that he was just having. And it's a dream of this young boy who is trying so desperately to run from this collapsing star that's destroying, I guess, the planet that he's on. And all he hears is like the loud screams of the village people and images of like people's bodies who's like beginning to incinerate from that energy of the star. And all that he remembers left of that dream is pretty much the boy standing atop a hill overlooking a village from where he ran, and the white flash of like the light rushing towards him until it's pretty much completely blinding. And then the sound of the bridge door opens, which kind of brings Sparrow back to, I guess, it breaks him, I guess, out of his, you know, his train of thought, or like his reminiscing, I guess, of his dream that he had. And he's pretty much now breaking out in like a cold sweat. and coming through the door is the rest of the Diliculum crew as we all gather and plot our next move.
All right, so how the hell do you think the Shard Hunters managed to track us this far? Any ideas?
Well, according to the radio, they said something about they know she's here.
So are they tracking us or are they tracking this signal?
You don't think it has to do with that worm that came out of your body, right? Do you think they were using that as like a tracker of some sort?
Interesting.
Ooh, never thought of that. Tracking worms. Oh, add 1 momentum, please.
Yes, thank you. I suppose maybe some kind of bio-tracking, but that's some pretty specific tech that, I don't know.
You saw what that, who she was, that Jasmine controlling the worms. Who's to say that they can't use it as some sort of means to track us,
It might be true. Well, why would they think she's here with us and not back on the planet where she was? Do we need to sweep this ship? Maybe we got a stowaway?
Well, we need to maybe sweep ourselves.
Either one of two things is happening. Either we are really caught in between a whole bunch of coincidences, or maybe we've been screwed from the beginning. Because let's not forget why we all started this. There was a package of weapons that we were supposed to deliver to Durango 5. Captain, have you even opened those crates? Have you checked the cargo?
No, I was specifically asked not to. But I suppose at this point, we may as well. We either find something weird in there, or we find weapons to give us an advantage.
Either way, I think we might be past the point of keeping our original iron vow.
That's been forsaken for some time. I said I would smooth it over with the client. We have some history.
Well, technically, we could still deliver it.
Depending on what it is. But part of the vow, I'm sure, was not opening that package.
That is correct.
So if we're opening the package to see what's in there, we are forsaking the vow.
And they wanted us to get there in a couple weeks' time, if you recall.
Yeah.
I don't even know what time is anymore, Captain.
I'm gonna have to agree there.
Well, shall we open them up?
What if we accidentally open this box up? We didn't intentionally open it, right? So we'd be forsaking our vows.
I knew I liked this crew.
It's always Sparrow trying to find the way around.
Who's to say someone didn't get on board our ship unknowingly and start rifling through our stuff, right?
Yeah, wasn't our first encounter. We thought something boarded our ship, although it might have been an illusion. I don't know. Didn't we find some sort of wet footstep type marks in the ship after the illusion?
I don't think so. That was on the other people's ship.
Oh, there was the other people's ship.
Yeah, we never.
Still, we didn't. Did you guys
Unless
find
you've
anything?
been
of that?
having illusions you haven't told us about.
I just recalled someone saying there was some gunk on the. I thought it was on our spaceship, but you might have meant their ship. I know you mentioned you saw something on their ship that wasn't natural.
Now that you mention it, looked a whole lot like what we saw on the Nexus. Would you guys agree? We only saw it from the port windows. We couldn't get I didn't get a really good close-up look.
Yeah, I was also on the Diliculum when you two went over.
Honestly, at this point, I'm pretty shaken. I don't even know what I saw. Sparrow, what do you think?
I mean, it might have been the same thing, but I can't be 100% sure.
I think it's pertinent, Captain. We should run some scans, not just of the ship, but of ourselves. I honestly do not know if we actually got rid of the purple worms from our system.
Yeah, I only have basic medtech equipment on this ship. So it's only going to get us so far. But I think Luz had a point. We should probably crack open those crates. Worst case, there's nothing weird in there and we just get some new weapons, you know?
Look,
Okay.
you guys can keep your precious vows. I'm gonna go ahead and say fuck the vow. I'll open the box. And Luce just trots out of the room straight into the cargo hold. Like, Luce is over it at this point. Really could care less.
Yeah, no, Duke is with
Yeah.
him. That vow was forsaken a long time ago, as far as he's concerned.
So
Okay.
I will forsake the vow now, though, officially. I'll go ahead and do that
All right.
because it
Yeah.
is a thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Hell
It
yeah,
is.
brother.
Yeah.
And I'll take the cost of enduring stress because I am demoralized at this point.
Yeah.
Right. So let me endure stress right quick.
I should do that as well.
Isn't
So-
that a move also, though? Forsake the vow?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's currently
It's a quest move, though, right?
yes.
Yes.
All right. So to endure stress, it's a -1 for minor, serious. What do we call this?
Oh, what's the rank?
Serious or major?
Let me check. Let's check.
I've got troublesome, dangerous, similar to a progress track.
Formidable in the progress track. Deliver the shipment to Durango 5 was formidable.
We had it listed as formidable.
Yes, it's there in the progress track.
Yeah, endure stress and suffer minus spirit equals to the rank of the vow. So we listed the vow at troublesome
Nope.
or formidable. Sorry,
Ooh.
that'd be a -3.
Yikes.
Ooh, that would totally wipe me out in terms of spirit.
Oh.
Interesting. What do we do here?
Well, you say you forsook it a long time. Forsook a long
Forsook.
time ago. Like I said, for this particular action, I'm more than happy to take this in. Because even at 3 stress, I still have 1 spirit left. And
You're
that's
gonna take it for the team?
That's all I need.
Just 1.
Yeah, I'll do it.
All right.
Luce is over it. It's tired of waiting. So let me take my 3 spirit hit. So I'm at 1. And then I choose to resist, right?
Yep, similar situation.
So spirit or heart, whichever is higher. Great. They're both 1. So let's
Your internals are just not up to par, man.
I'm gonna go with heart because I feel like I got more heart than spirit right now. All right, let's see what happens. Weak hit. So on a weak hit, if you're not shaken, you may lose momentum in exchange for 1 spirit. Otherwise, press on. I got 1 momentum. Yeah, all right. My momentum will go down to 1, and my spirit will be at 2.
All right. Okay.
And I open the box.
And you open the box. What's in the box?
What's in the box?
What do we find in the box, Sir Luce?
I don't know. Ivan has something to say.
I misclicked it. I didn't think you would do that. That was weird. Just
You
shakes
raise
my
your hand?
camera box.
Yeah, you can raise your hand. You're like,
He was like, me. No, go ahead.
please.
That's funny.
I was like, I've never seen that before.
So
Thank
that's
you,
what that does.
Zencaster.
Okay. So that's what that does. Okay. Now we know. Excellent. We get 1 momentum each for loading that.
That's funny.
So
He meant to push the mute button.
So full of stress, anguish, tiredness, over itness, Luce goes to the cargo boxes, grabs a crowbar, and starts prying open these wooden boxes. And in the first wooden box, amongst like this kind of stringy hay padding, are these like black flight cases that are secured. And Luce goes to open them. There's about 5 in there. Luce goes to open one, and you just see like, you know, an insulated box with 2 rifles in it all neatly pressed into like these molded casings, right? And so Luz opens the first one and sees a rifle, opens the second one and sees another rifle, and the whole crew sees that it's just weapons, right? But in the fury of not finding any answers, Luz just grabs one of, as he's going through the boxes, just like pushes one out of the way and it drops to the floor. And the casing falls upside down to where the weapons and the padding fall out. And you realize that the case is a lot deeper than the padding was really holding it. And the top layer of padding falling out, you see that underneath there are 4 vials that are filled with leeches underneath the weapon.
Well, I'll be damned. Well, I don't care about forsaking that now.
Did you know about this, Captain? Is this the kind of warfare that you're contributing to?
I didn't know about that. They told me weapons. They didn't say leeches. I guess yeah, I guess it could be the same thing.
I guess a bioweapon is a bioweapon.
Yeah, but yikes, this, considering what we've gone through, this is yuck.
Who was the person that gave you this case? I know we met him, but you told us that he was nameless. But you have to know, right?
I've done some jobs for him in the past, yeah. He's a mysterious guy. He just kind of pops in and out of the sector every once in a while. He doesn't really hang around for all too long, just hits me up directly and asks for a job. And that's kind of been the extent of our relationship, really.
As Lucid closely examines like these cylindrical vials that have these leeches kind of like in suspended animation, Luce looks for any labeling or any sort of writing that can dictate what it is. And on the bottom side of the vial, Lucy's a little tag that says larva specimen C-55, origin Prica.
Prica?
Do you see what it says here?
Isn't that where we're headed?
It's the planet right behind that dead star.
Why would we be shipping out leeches from Prica to other settlements?
Maybe Prica is the hub of this leech, and whoever's in power is trying to control the tides of war through it.
Dude, what did we just get in the middle of?
Just get in the middle of? We've been in the middle of this and we didn't even know. Captain, this is not what I signed up for.
I didn't sign up for this either. Well, I mean, I knew we were going to impact one side of war, of course. But this seems like something else altogether.
Aren't there, in terms of rules of war, something against such biological weapons or use of biological weapons?
There are no rules of war in the Forge.
I mean, the way that this was stored in that package, somebody knew that they were doing something wrong. Let's be honest.
Well, if you think about what we did to the Shard Hunters, I imagine if these things were too mature, wherever they're going, it's going to be a nasty situation.
So, is it the Shard Hunters are tracking these leeches, or whoever controls these leeches is, projecting on purpose?
I mean, they said she, so they have to assume they have an interest in her, but maybe their tracking is not that precise. Maybe any kind of indication that there's a leech presence is enough for them.
My first time out of the labs, and I deal with this. Hey, Captain, do these firearms work? Considering what we're up against, I'm gonna need something more than this hunk of junk.
Well, we're not going to test them in the ship, but as far as I can tell, they look normal. It looks serviceable. And Duke kind of works the guns over, takes out the clips, their magazines, checks them and everything. Everything seems fine.
All right. I'm gonna take one of these rifles
Just
as compensation.
don't shoot the pipes next time.
Oh. Okay. Fair. That's fair. But in my defense, I'm your tech guy. I'm not a fighter.
Well, we all got different roles to play, and when shit hits the fan, you're either dead or you fight with us. So, better you learn how to use one of these.
Copy that. Just not in the ship. Got it.
So I know I'm captain of this ship, and I called you all for the original job. But this is a whole nother beast. So I'd like to think of this as more of an equal democracy, if you will. Where does this put us now, gentlemen? How do you want to handle this?
Well, other than beyond the original mission, wasn't it that you had a dream about your wife and want to find out if the vision is true or abandon all that? I get it.
I heard her calling, and then Liz had the vision,
Oh, so
which
doesn't-
reinforced what I thought I heard. But now, I mean, who knows? We've been getting played since the beginning.
and even if we abandon trying to find your wife, we broke the vow of not opening it. And do we want to deliver these to Durango 5? What's on Durango 5, by the way?
It's an
Did
outer
he mention-
colony settlement.
Yeah, it's a
So-
warring outer colony settlement that we're supposed to deliver weapons to change the tide and help one side.
But these things won't just change the tide, it might just take over.
It depends who's in control.
Right.
So
I mean,
then-
we've clearly seen at least one entity be able to actually manipulate and control these leeches. Who's to say that somewhere on Prika there's not some sort of lab where this is all going down?
So, do we take it upon ourselves to defeat the greater threat? Is the person controlling these leeches, or do we take it to the authorities? But then again, who will believe us?
There's not much of an authority out in the forge either.
Yeah, we're way out here.
So, are we going to be the good guys in this situation from the information that we have? We could just wipe our hands of it and walk away.
By the way we're being tracked, I don't think we can walk away from anything.
Agreed with Luce. We may not be to walk away either from the Shard Hunters or from this Jasmine person.
We did kill a bunch of them. We're going to have hell to pay.
We've killed them. We've ingested and been a part of leeches. We've had visions of this place. This is where we're meant to go. I think we need to get down to Prika. We need to see this to the end. And if anything, we know that these Shard Hunters are coming, which means they'll probably try to find that lab. Maybe we get there first and we set up an ambush for them.
Or maybe we get an answer and we can tell them, hey, we're with you, you know?
I'm in agreement with just getting there first and then sorted it out later.
Yeah, I think we finish this job regardless. We've already made it this far. And knowing all of you, I know that none of us here are quitters. I think we see this through to the end.
Duke is rubbing his the shoulder that took the shot. Say, well, I guess we better take the time we have to patch ourselves up. This has the makings of being a pretty nasty situation when we get there.
So, shall we try to research to see if we have anything in our databanks about Prika and head for Prika?
I think we've done that before.
Yeah, we have the coordinates.
Okay.
Yeah. No one knows that this planet, people didn't even know that it was behind the black hole.
Yeah, presumed to be inaccessible.
But
I guess we'll
access
find
it,
out.
we will.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. To Prika it is, and considering it's a black hole, do we need to make any special preparations, Captain?
No, I think we had we had gotten something that
Yeah, we got
gave us the means to navigate around.
the correct coordinates out of the queen. That was the deal.
Yes.
So she
So
wants us there for some reason or another.
All right, then.
So I'll trust in Sparrow's navigation. I'm going to try to rest and see if I can cough up any more of this blood out of my lungs. Luce walks away.
Well, before you go, Luce, how about this? We don't know what we're going to find out. Obviously, this whole thing has been a shit show. It's gone sideways more times than I can count. But I will do this and say that I will vow to all of you that no matter what happens, I will have your back. And we make it out of this one way or another as a team.
I will make that vow. And he takes out his icon.
At this point, you guys are probably all I've got left.
All right, Captain, no need to get emotional. Luce pulls out his black iron ring and holds it in the palm of his hand and says, I guess if we're going to die, it might as well not be alone. So I vow to have your guys' backs as well.
It's vow time. We're doing this.
It's vow time.
It's vow time. Diliculum crew.
Diliculum. All right, should we fast forward? We can fast forward.
All right. Well, let's get to Prika.
All right.
Okay. Who wants to bring us in?
There's only one navigator on this ship.
Oh, so are we just assuming we just get there already? So that's what's happening?
Well, I
Or
imagine it would be,
am I rolling for this?
I think you'd probably roll, right?
You can take it either way.
That's true. If you want to just progress it.
Yeah.
We are pretty close because the Nexus was in the space around the black hole.
Right.
Yeah. It's up to you.
I'll just take it home. All right, here we go.
All right.
All right, so Sparrow takes the wheel and he's basically guiding the ship around the black hole. And he basically uses the black hole's gravitational pull to basically swing us around to planet Prika. And as we approach planet Prika, it's this pretty, I wouldn't say peaceful, but it definitely has this like eerily calm vibe to it, just because it's so out in space alone, away from everything. And Sparrow brings in the ship, basically motions the whole crew to kind of strap down as we enter the atmosphere of Prika. And he's coming down. As he's coming down, he verifies the coordinates that what's her name? The Jasmine lookalike gave us, and notices the, I guess, ring of like mountaintops, approximately where in the direction of where the coordinates would be. And as he brings the ship down over the mountaintops, they see the clear lake at the bottom of the middle. And as he's coming down, Sparrow's looking for a spot to land and notices a good space, I guess, by the waterfront where he can kind of land the ship. And brings it down. And what else? I guess we got there in one piece. Safely.
As the Diliculum touches down in this clearing right by the lake, all of a sudden the cargo bay erupts in noise as all the larvae from all the containers start shrieking at a very dull level, but because there's so many packages and so many little larvae still encased, you hear like this.
Nice.
What the hell is that? Is that the larva?
It sounds like the cargo bay.
Maybe the
I don't think
larvae know
I-
that they're home.
Yeah, I don't think I hit anything on the way down.
Well, we could let them free. We just pitch these boxes out of the cargo hold and see what they do.
Yeah, I can't stand that screaming noise. Let's go and do it.
You guys didn't keep those headphones?
At what point
Uh,
running through this nexus in Ironhome? So the crew goes to the cargo bay where like all these stacks of boxes still closed have this like muted shrieking going on inside them, and it's almost like the leeches are in pain. And the one package or the 4 vials that had been opened, you know, the leech was kind of like in suspended animation. That those leeches are now like wiggling, and they're pressed up as much as possible towards one particular side of the vial. And what we come to realize is that the side of the vial that they're pressed up to is the side that faces the lake. And it's almost like they're trying to get to the water. And Luz turns to Captain and says, Captain, you know, the only place to dump this is going to be the water. So unless anyone has any better ideas, I think we get this the hell off of our ship.
Yeah. Keep the guns, dump the rest.
okay.
All right, guys, help me with this.
All right. I will help Luz start chucking these into the lake. How big are these crates? Do we need a dolly, I guess? We don't have a lift on the ship, correct?
Yeah,
I
we're
mean,
probably just
two-
going to do it by hands.
Yeah, 2
Okay.
men could handle a crate.
Copy. All right, here we go, Luz.
Plus, it'll be a lot lighter without those weapons in them.
All right. We can put a few more of the vials, or is it just 4 to a box?
Yeah, let's throw it all.
All the boxes. Got it. All right. We take out the rifles. Start throwing it out the box. Start throwing it into the lake.
So as we throw the larvae in their containers into the lake, we start to see that they immediately start glowing blue again. And since the water is pretty clear, we can't really see the outline of the vial, but we can see the blue light of all these different larvae going to the very bottom of the lake and kind of like uniting around one spot in the dead center, deepest part of the lake.
I take it this is the lake you saw in your vision.
It definitely looks like it, sir.
All right. 1, 2, 3. One box goes into the lake. Ready for the next one, Luz?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. I don't want to be here any longer than we have to. I don't like the look of this.
So what's the plan for landing here? Where do we go from here?
Well, I don't have any wetsuits on board. No oxygen tanks either. And just as Duke is, sort of thinking about a creative way to navigate the water, you hear a couple of voices from behind the crew. He said, "Oh, you won't be needing those. We're glad you'd finally arrived." And startled, Duke turns around, but just sort of automatically puts his hand on his weapons. And he turns to see two of the red-robed figures from the planet. Not the same ones, but same garb. Same eerie look to them. But much more talkative this time. And they don't look hostile or combative. And as he said, they were expecting to see us.
Interesting.
We weren't sure you'd make it. The Queen said you'd be on your way, but we thought you might have gotten waylaid on your way here. We're glad you have arrived.
And just who exactly are you guys? I didn't even realize you red robes could talk.
We serve the Queen.
Luce looks around to the crew and just says, "Oh, okay. Not sure if we're going hostile with this or what we're doing."
I've seen enough red robes. I don't even know who to trust anymore. I don't even know if they're all working for the same organization.
How can we trust you, red robes?
We could have killed you if we wanted.
Not really the best way to build trust between two strangers.
But it is the truth. You're here at the Queen's invitation, are you not?
Did we get invited by the Queen?
I don't think we did. We were just kind of...
You were directed here.
Yes.
Boss, did you get an invitation?
Well, I wanted to know where my wife supposedly was, so I suppose I asked for it. If you want to put it that way.
Luce turns to the two robed figures and says, "All right, well, let's start with at least you giving us your names. What do we call you? Hoodie?"
We're simply referred to as the Scarlet Guard.
Oh.
Once we take service with the Queen, we do away with individual names.
Oh, okay, so it's like a cult kind of thing. I see. Well, we came here to investigate a woman. Luce goes into detail about the vision that he had and asks the Scarlet Guard, "What do you know about this woman? What can you tell us? Everything has brought us here. So what's the next step?"
The two Scarlet Guards exchange a look. And he says, "Oh, it's fascinating. You've seen this woman before in your visions, I take it?"
More than one of us have.
They have this sort of satisfied look on their faces. Say, well, I hate to disappoint you. What you see is not exactly who is down there. It's more what you saw in your vision was more a manifestation of, let's say, the power source that is here on this planet.
The power source?
Yes, you've seen the leeches and what they can do, have you not?
Yeah.
They can both give and take certain type of power.
So this is the home where you mine the leeches?
To put it simply, yes.
Well, then show us.
Gladly. And he fishes out from his robes these they're like makeshift face coverings. No, not makeshift, but they're kind of crude looking. You almost don't trust them because they're kind of low tech solutions. But he says these will allow you to make it to our center at the bottom of the lake. And they both put on their own as well. So if they're gonna, if we're gonna drown, so will they, basically.
The other Scarlet Guard pulls out 4 additional red robes and places it over us and says, "If we're going down there, you guys will need to wear these robes. Red is the only color that the leeches do not attack. So if you want to be safe, wear the robes and wear the masks." And the Scarlet Guard jump into the water.
So we have each other's backs, right? As Duke is putting everything on.
I guess.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, this isn't the weirdest thing we've done.
Sparrow's looking at the water at the two red the Scarlet Guard dudes. It's like, yeah, it doesn't seem like the worms are going near them. So I mean, I guess what they said about the red is true. So
All right. Well, let's hit it then.
Before we go down there, let's assume the shard hunters are still tailing us. Do we want to leave some breadcrumbs for them?
For them to follow us
Yeah.
and not wear red?
They could be our only hope.
It's a pretty devious plan, Captain.
Hey,
Yeah.
it's our butts are there. You know what I mean?
Leave a message on the ship's computers.
Something. I assume they'll search it.
I can leave a message. What do you want it to say?
No, it can't be a message. They'll know it's a trap. Maybe on our map inside the ship, we can mark the waypoint at the bottom of the lake. That way they know that's where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
That's simple enough.
You can leave a message. Just make it look like it was something we had discovered on our own. You know what I mean?
Got it. I can leave the message like that. Discovered a signal at the bottom of the lake. Gone to investigate.
Hopefully they've got red. They might actually know that, actually.
I mean,
If
they do study the Essentia.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They weren't wearing red when they were in the caves, though.
This is true.
Maybe we
They
just
were after.
Maybe we just dealt. Oh my goodness!
Am I right? Am I right?
This is not the time for jokes, Captain.
God damn it. All right, let's go.
Is that your coping mechanism?
Sometimes.
Make jokes.
This is weird, okay? Never done anything like this before. I don't know how to handle the situation. As he strolls out of the ship with his newly donned red robes and mask.
Luce is right behind him in his red robe and mask, secures his blades to his body and his pistol to his hip, and dives right into the water.
All right, we'll see you at the bottom of the lake, gentlemen.
after you, Captain.
I put on my mask, put on my robe. Okay, this is what I get for leaving the labs. And he jumps in.
So it's a really weird sensation to breathe through this device. You know, it's kind of it covers the nose and the bottom half of the face, but you don't really understand how it's working, but it does. It's scary at first because it will actually take water into it, and then somehow in the process of doing that, it extracts the oxygen for you to breathe. But here, realizing that water is rushing into the mask is very off-putting, and so it's, you know, anxiety-inducing, really stressful and unusual, but it does work. So we make our way down to the lake, and the lake, by and large, is there's not much in it. You know, it's very barren. Even though it's a large lake, you would typically expect there to be some sort of underwater life, but there's not much there at all. There are some leeches still kind of hanging around that didn't manage to get free of their containers, and you can still see that they are very much trying to make their way, whatever it's going to take to get to the bottom of the lake. And as we get down deeper, the water chills. There's this point where there's a significant drop in the temperature, and it's like chilling to the bone. And the light is not reaching as far down in the depths anymore. Up ahead, you can see some lighting from a building, and that's really the only waypoint that we have to work with. But it's a tough swim, just in terms of distance the chill, the unusual circumstances, and the darkness, it's enough to make most people turn around and just leave. But the team presses on, and we come to a structure. It's remarkably clean on the outside for a structure that's sitting underwater. It's got a particular kind of metal on the outside that does not give way to rust. And as far as you can tell, this is a freshwater lake. You're not tasting or sensing any of the saltiness. So clean water as far as we can tell. A clean looking establishment. It's got rounded sort of nodules and different compartments to it it almost looks like a space station underwater. So different sections of it connected by tubes and hallways, right? So just thinking as we're approaching it, you look strategically, and there's a lot of choke points, a lot of places where if there were to be a break somewhere, could be very problematic. So Duke is thinking as we're going down, like, this maybe was just a typical land space station at some point, and because it has that kind of look to it, and maybe they had secured it and brought the water or produced the water or something and put it on it, so as to obscure it. That would be his guess. And so we come down to one of the outside nodules, and it's essentially a space dock, or like an airlock. So we go into the outer door, find ourselves in a flooded compartment, and as the Scarlet Guard seals the outer door, they release the water out and open up a pressurized room for us.
And so once the room reaches pressure stability, the second set of doors open up, and what the crew sees is a bunch of red hooded figures, all working like a colony of ants, hustling and bustling to and fro from all these modules and tight corridors, but somehow never getting in anyone's way. And what you see down the long corridor is that the Scarlet Guard that's leading the crew is leading them straight from that gate or a pressurized door into a deeper part of the facility. And from looking down this incredibly straight hallway, we notice that it kind of curves down and it's descending. So even though we're at the bottom of the lake, part of this facility is built into the terrain at the bottom of the lake, and now we're going into the earth. The Scarlet Guard leads us and tells us about how they've been here for millennia. And the reason that they colonized this place is because they found a particular resource when they were excavating this land that was previously not waterlogged. But once they made the discovery, they knew that it would change possibly the fate of every planet. So they decided to bury it and be the keepers of the secret. And while they're telling us, we're just looking at one another, counting exits, figuring out what the best way out is in case, shit hits the fan. And we finally come to this set of doors. All the other doors in this place have been kind of metallic, circular, parting from the middle. But this one door is very ornate, and it has like gold plating on it, and it is not circular. It is in fact rectangular, a little bit square. And it's a really heavy door because you can tell from all the hissing and the pistons pressurized, loosening in order for it to open up. And when it opens up, we see that in this cavernous room, very different from the rest of the clean metallic facility, it's almost like the door opens up into an underwater cave. And in this underwater cave, you start hearing like a low groan, gargling, like sub frequency that is reverberating inside of this cave. It's very dark, damp, badly lit, and incredibly cavernous. And the Scarlet Guard kind of parts for us to continue walking and signal for us to keep moving down into the darkness. And as we do, we can feel the low frequency of the grumble get stronger, and we start feeling it in our chest. And that's when we realized that the entire 25-foot back wall is actually one organism. One queen-like insect that's abdomen and body takes up the entirety of the back wall. And in the back part of the thorax, it's almost blended into the cave wall, and all of a sudden the room starts getting lit because the entire back wall has these tiny little cocoons of larvae that are now glowing fluorescent blue. And we see that this beast, insect, monster thing is possibly like the hive mother of all these larvae. The Scarlet Guard turns to us and says, "The Queen would like to speak with you."
Yeah, Duke doesn't know what to say.
That's the queen. We're
This-
going to talk to that.
This is the queen you serve.
Yes, this is the Queen. You may know her as Jasmine.
Duke is very confused.
That's your wife, Captain?
Oh, I sure hope not.
The queen goes, "Welcome to my chamber. I am glad you made it this far."
There's a figure we didn't notice because of the sheer size and surprise of what we're taking in, but there is a figure, a womanly figure in the cave that sort of emerges from the darkness, and that's where the voice is actually coming from. And Duke sees the figure, and he just can't believe his eyes, because it is Jasmine, but it's not at the same time. And so you can see just the whole range of emotions that he's going through, because it's her body, right? It's exactly as he remembers her. Of course, as she comes into view and into the light, her body's changed, obviously. It is not her voice anymore. And then the body looks pale, kind of, surprisingly intact, but also looks dead at the same time. And he's confused. He's feeling, upon seeing her at first, there's a wave of excitement, even joy almost, and then quickly turns to very deep sadness at realizing that what he sees is essentially the remnant of his wife that is being used by this Leech Queen as an avatar of sorts. And he's completely shaken.
"Hunter, Thank you for hearing my voice. I didn't think you would come.
What have they done to you?
They have made me better. I can feel the universe now. Come, join us. You can feel the universe of the Forge.
I don't understand. Why of all people? Why of all people did it have to be you?
It no longer matters. We are one with the universe. Come, you and your friends, since you heeded the call, can join us.
Duke he's locked. He can't make a decision. He can't do anything right now. There's just way too much that he's processing.
So in that moment, Duke turns and is just frozen. But from the perspective of Luce, the figure that comes out of the darkness is not Duke's wife. The figure that comes out of the darkness from Luce's eyes is his mother that died on their iron home when Luce was just a child and the star broke on their planet. And while Duke is having this moment of shock, Luce is also having this moment of shock because he realizes that he hasn't seen his mother in 30 years and all of a sudden feels like a little boy again, just wanting to help and save his mother. The words that are being said by his mother are the exact same as Duke is hearing. But from the eyes of Luce, it is his mother. And he is also in a state of shock, disbelief, but more so in a state of complete weakness and ready to do whatever he can to save his mom, because that's his internal trauma.
While all this is going on, Goshi sees one of his creche mates, and a creche is one of the groups that were being tested on. This was subject number 53, someone who he was close with before all the alterations done by his organization. Although he doesn't see Captain's wife or Luce's mother, he sees someone who was with him during the trials. And coincidentally, he remembers now her name was Jazz, short for Jasmine. And he hears the same thing about joining them because they can feel the universe. And Goshi starts shaking in fear and anger and not understanding what's going on and how she could be here, because he knows she died during the tests and operations. How could you be here, Jazz? What are you doing here? And he falls to his knees in disbelief.
So I could do this two ways. I'm not going to do the first way I wanted to. Because
Do it whatever you want. That's
Okay.
the whole point of this game. Whatever you want,
I wanted
it's
it to be.
working.
I wanted it to be like everybody else was seeing things, but like Sparrow's the only one's like,
That's fine.
That's
Go
fine.
with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Go
whatever-
with it. It's
whatever.
okay. This is a group effort.
Maybe you're the only one of us that's actually dealt with their trauma.
Yes.
This is true.
Why not?
I mean, my character doesn't remember his past, so it's like,
Oh, that's true.
Oh,
That's
true.
the
then
benefit.
That's fine.
That's the
And
benefit.
that's why you're Moon.
all right, I'll go with it. I'll go with it.
There you go. All right. Here we go.
Okay.
And action.
So,
We are-
as
We're getting hot. Sorry.
everybody
The mics are hot.
else, as everybody else is like, I guess, succumbing to their own like past, I guess, traumas or past memories, seeing this Leech Queen as for what they see it, Sparrow's just kind of staring at the crew, and it's just kind of like wondering like why everybody is having the reactions that they are, and starts questioning like why people are seeing I guess different visions of this Leech Queen than what Sparrow was seeing, because all Sparrow sees is still just the the body of this Leech Queen in the wall, and he's just kind of questioning why he alone isn't seeing what everybody else is seeing.
So as Sparrow is taking in the scene and trying to figure out why the rest of the crew is just sort of locked in some sort of experience that he doesn't understand or relate to, you see through the door 4 Scarlet Guard walk into the room, and they're each carrying leeches, but they're a little different from what we've seen before. So they're almost they don't just have a regular little leech shape. They just seem special in some way, and they're carrying them in a very delicate manner, as if they respect them highly, And the 4 Scarlet Guard approach the team, and they each stand in front of one of us. And while the 3 of the crew who are bewitched currently can't do anything about it, Sparrow is seeing this whole thing take place. And of course, you can react to it. But you watch as the first ones stand in front of the rest of us and basically take the leech and are about to make us swallow them. So they very gently, with long, lanky, decrepit looking hands, tilt our heads back, and you're just watching it in disgust at this, because we're not doing anything about it. And very gently pry our mouths open and dangle these special leeches over us. And there's another one who follows in after, a 5th one, and he's talking to the queen. Essentially, he's just saying, it looks like they've decided to join us, but they don't seem to have noticed that you are not buying in. And as the 4th one stops in front of you, Sparrow, and reaches out for your head, what do you do?
Sparrow grabs his arm and kind of just stops him before he really grabs Sparrow's face to basically force feed him this worm. And he's like, "What are you doing? Why are you feeding me this?"
He has a shocked look on his face, and you can barely, actually, underneath the robe, you can barely see the fullness of his face, but you can tell that there's a reaction there that he was not expecting. And he retracts the leech quickly, and then looks to the other ones, and also but talks to the 5th one that entered and says, "This one, he's not ready." And the 5th one starts walking towards you very intently.
"I'm going to ask you again, why were you trying to feed me this worm?" this leech.
Well, your compatriots have decided to join us.
Join you for what?
To be a part of our collective. Wouldn't you like to do the same?
I don't think any of us decided to just join your collective here.
Well, they don't appear to be rejecting the offer. And you can see that they're getting ever closer to just dropping these things in our mouths.
So from the perspective of Luce specifically, like we'll switch perspective to Luce's perspective, and Luce in his mind is back on his iron home, being destroyed, life support running out, and just holding his mother in his hands. And his mother turns to him and says, I've been waiting so long for you to finally be here. You're the only one who's strong enough to protect me. And I need you. I need you to protect me. Please promise me that you'll do everything you can to protect me. And Luce is just, for being someone who holds everything in all the time and keeps it really chill, Luce is just bawling for his mother and saying, yes, I can protect you. Like, just tell me how. Like, I'm not strong enough. Tell me how. But from the perspective of Sparrow, Luce is just there, completely frozen in the moment, mouth agape, completely limp, about to swallow this larva 2.0.
Yeah, Duke sees he's totally in his own mind scene as well, and he's talking with Jasmine, and he just doesn't understand. And he's like, how could this possibly be what happened to you? I would have rather you just died. And she says, no, it's fine. I know this is not what you were hoping for, but this is better. And you should join us. Trust me. You can have everything you wanted. We'll be together again. And Duke is... the internal conflict is all over the place for him, because he... happy to see her, terrified that she's different, that she seems dead anyway, but longing so badly to be with her again. He's almost willing to do it. And in the moment he is. And he's acquiescing just because he's latching on to the possibility that she might be right, that she might be telling the truth, that they can be together and actually be happy in some, even if it is in some other reality that he'd never even considered before. He would throw it all away.
Is there a move to do a mental battle?
Well, this is what I was thinking. Because, it's about to go down.
Yes. I was trying to figure out what move it is. Is it a version of combat?
I was thinking we do begin the scene.
Yes, there it is.
Right? And so we begin the scene, which establishes a tension clock. So it's essentially us trying to, achieve our success condition before the clock expires.
Right.
Right.
My only thing with that is I feel like we're already fucked. Like from my perspective, we're not getting out of this. The only way we're getting out of this is one of two ways. And both of those ways that I'm imagining, I won't say because I don't want to, influence anyone, but the only way we could get out of this is through external influence. It's almost like we're under a spell right now. Like we need something to break that spell because we are not aware that we're in this. Right? Because we're getting like emotionally traumatized.
True.
Yeah, but we could do so. if we were to start it as a scene, right, then we could do face danger, which is attempting something risky or reacting to an imminent threat within a scene.
Right.
And so it could be like what Roman was looking for, is some kind of mental battle that's playing out.
Because my character has something, because it's in the backstory. It's also within the assets. So,
And if
well, not,
if extra,
but
yeah, and if an external factor comes in, it just moves us forward, right, in our effort to overcome it.
yeah. Because if I fail this mental battle, then I'm gonna swallow the worm. Yikes. Tequila, anyone?
And this
So-
explains why they're all sort of autonomous,
Yes.
right? Like they're just in sync entirely with each other.
Hmm.
They've decided, well, maybe not decided, but they've joined.
Because again, because of my backstory, and since I went with it, I remembered something about my backstory. So, yeah, I might have to agree. Out of all the moves, it's begin the scene.
That's what I think.
And this is probably our only way to internally get out. And if we fail, we failed. Pay the price, which is obvious.
Pay the ultimate price.
Pull the ultimate, swallow the worm. So begin the scene, a scene challenge? Or have we already begin the scene?
No, I don't. I mean, technically we haven't, but I don't know. Do you guys think that'll work?
Because begin the scene and then either face danger or secure an advantage would be the next. Yeah. Okay, I guess we can begin the scene. Why not? Let's do it here. This is our moment to get out, including Ivan, who's like external, but the rest of us is internal. So I'm gonna say begin the scene, and this is the one moment we gotta try to get out. Objections? Abstentions?
So when you face an extended or complex challenge, name your objective and choose a rank as appropriate. So we could just be simply escaping the
Escape the spell
Dude.
or something.
the queen's influence or something like that.
So that is a progress track then?
Well,
Or the objective? Oh, you just says name the objective, correct? Yeah. Name your objective and choose a rank. Okay, so in other words, it's another kind of progress track.
So let me see if we do. When we face danger, we do make a progress track.
Mm-hmm.
And we're pretty much facing danger the entire time. But I think we talked about leveraging other moves if they fit.
Right.
And then
That's why I was asking.
Yeah. So I would say we are unprepared and outmatched, which would make it at least formidable.
Yes, I agree there.
And then it says activate. Well, the description says a 4-segment tension clock and face danger or secure an advantage to take action. I don't know if 4 sounds a little light, personally. Maybe we do 6.
We got 4, 6, 8, and 10. 4 just makes the scene
very fast.
fast. That's it.
I mean, it would have to be fast. They're holding it
That's
in
true.
our open
True.
mouth,
Yeah.
All right.
if that's the way you want to do it.
And we could have 4 for each of us.
Right.
We could each have, well, except maybe Sparrow. So maybe we each have a clock of our own.
Yeah. Found it. A scene challenge is an optional structured approach for resolving an extended non-combat scene against a threat or other characters. So
Okay, so Sparrow might be acting in a combat scenario, whereas we are not.
correct.
Or you can help us secure an advantage.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think we do it that way. We each get a 4-count clock of our own.
Okay. Okay, I'll go do my own. 4 count, and it's almost certain, correct?
That's
the advance. Or
I'd say likely at
Likely.
the lowest is what I would say.
let's give ourselves a chance. We'll go likely. This is our chance.
75% chance the clock
75.
ticks at every chance we
Yes.
take. Lose dice.
Yeah, because I kind of want to play my character like is not aware.
Okay, that's fine. You can. You're allowed to.
Yeah, and Duke was he's kind of in the middle, right? Like he knows something's not fully right.
Yeah, Luce is trauma triggered by his dead mom as a
That's
child, so
Yeah.
That's fine. All right.
the only way I'm getting out is if someone helps me.
External. Hint. All right. Who would like to
4
start?
counts. Well, I'll just roll then, because
Okay,
right.
you go.
Let's see.
I could put a roll here. Maybe I should do that.
Yeah. 95.
Are you
Check
going
one.
95? Wow. You dodged
Oh no,
it.
you
So I-
dodged it.
Flawless.
Dang.
Flawless.
Too easy for him.
I'm just chilling with my moms.
Yeah.
This guy beats a 90.
beats the 75. Oh wait,
I
he put
have
90.
mine's
Okay.
90. Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
See.
Wow.
Nice roll.
Nice
Thanks.
roll. 95. You know
All
what?
right.
I'll go. Seeing his friend Jazz, he realizes he blames his organization for her death. And he gets an inkling that this should not be. And he makes the roll. Oh, and he says,
45.
and he realizes, come on, Goshi. Let's make it like old times. And he hits 1.
All right. So Duke is experiencing the internal strife and partially aware that something is not jiving. And he makes his first roll. 21. He doesn't dodge a damn thing. 1 tick for Duke.
Oh my gosh.
He can't escape the possibility, and he gives in, even if just a little bit. So Sparrow, you see somehow Luz has given just the slightest bit of resistance. You can kind of see that whereas the three of us, whereas Goshi and Duke are standing very limp, Luz is actually responding a little. Like you can see his body start to kind of regain a little bit of control, which it surprises you a little bit. But what's your move?
I'm not doing one of these. So would I do a enter the fray?
If you're going to fight them.
If you're going to fight somebody, yeah.
You could also aid us.
Oh, aid your ally.
It can buff up our rolls to get out of this.
And you do still have the one that's right in front of you and the other one who's kind of bearing down on you. They are not hostile yet.
How do I aid my ally, though?
Well, what do you think Sparrow would actually do? And then we'll
at this point,
find a suitable move for it.
At this point, I would probably just I'd probably pull out my gun at this point, honestly.
Here we go.
I think it would be more or less like a like, don't feed me that shit or I will shoot you kind of thing.
All right.
Go for it.
So you're not entering
Or-
combat
I'm not.
yet.
Yeah. It's a warning. It's a warning. I don't know what. I don't know what.
I think
that would
that's
be,
a
though.
scare advantage because making preparations.
Or you can try
Attempt
to
to gain
compel somebody.
leverage.
Don't give me that worm. Let's take a look.
Yeah, I think you could do either one.
Yeah.
Okay. I will threaten or incite. I will threaten with
All right.
iron.
There you go.
With your black iron
With
pistol.
my iron pistol.
Oh, strong hit.
Yeah, buddy.
On a strong hit, they'll do what you want or agree to your conditions. Take +1 momentum.
Oh, I'll take that +1. Okay, so Sparrow's like pulls out his gun and is like pointing it at the dude's head, the guy like right in front of him, and is like, "You better like put that fucking worm down." And then he's like threatening him to tell his other what are they, Scarlet
Guard.
Scarlet Guard.
people to put their worms down.
So
which they hesitantly do, I guess.
Well, so you're persuading the one. So the guy right in front of you backs off. He doesn't put the worm down because they revere them that much, but he does sort of take it back in and protect it, kind of like a football, right? So he's got it covered up, and he steps away from you, and then you hear right behind you, closer than you thought he would be, the fifth one whispers, "You should not have done that." And then you feel something. Well, you hear a weapon escaping a sheath of some kind, and we'll find out what happens next time.
There you go.
Thanks for tuning in to Dawn of the Diliculum on the Pay the Price podcast. Dawn of the Diliculum and the Pay the Price podcast are products and trademarks of Samurai Beat LLC, which is a fan-funded organization made for you and made possible by you at patreon.com/samuraibeat. We seek to entertain and enable adulting gamers like you, and we appreciate your support, your confidence, and your inspiration. Thank you.